friends. Hope you're doing well. So, it was my birthday recently. If you guess my age, I'll like your comment. I'll like your comment anyway. I don't know. I feel like I look a lot younger than I actually am. For someone closer to 40 than 20. Just like, yeah, I got a baby face. It's because I never go outside or smoke or drink or do drugs or have any fun. I just stay inside and work all the time. And like my hobbies are like, I like to read and I like to play hockey, which is like inside away from the sun. So if you stay out of the sun, you stay looking younger longer. Although it is starting to catch up because I notice I get a lot less compliments about like, oh, but there's still a lot of people that are like, oh, I thought you were only, and it's like way younger than I am, so feels good. But birthdays are an interesting time because it gives you time to kind of reflect on the last year, kind of like how New Year's Eve does. And if you're here and you're a regular, you know that I'm big on setting goals and setting big stupid arbitrary goals. But I think birthdays kind of let you reflect, not kind of like on the tactical level as to like this I'm gonna do XYZ, and more on the strategic level. It is much more of like, I want to do this, I want to do more of this, and you can kind of like you can kind of be like objective. That's the wrong word, but you can kind of be looser with it, and you could say like, you know, I looking back in the last year, you know, this year so far, and the last year in general. Well, there's too many words. Looking back over the last year of my life, it's like I am noticing that my focus has been slipping really hard, and I'm spending way more time endlessly scrolling on my phone, and I want to do a lot less of that in this year of my life, in this revolution around the sun. So I'm like, okay, you know, hockey helped a lot because it gave me something to do, to go out and do all that stuff, you know, play hockey. That takes up a lot of time, and practicing hockey takes a lot of time, and working out, and it feels good to work out. But I've been reading this book on the Libby app. Again, download the Libby app. If you have a library card, you can get audiobooks for free. This is not a paid endorsement, but like, so the book is called Stolen Focus. Let's see if it'll focus on this. Yeah. There you go. And it's like, the first chapter was kind of very much like, you kids get off your cell phones kind of a message, but like, it picks up after that. Like the intro chapter is like, is this gonna be one of those books about but like the guy who wrote the book is, at least the times he's talked about his age, he's not much older than me, so I can appreciate where he's coming from. And like, I didn't have a cell phone until I was in college. Like, it just wasn't as ubiquitous. Like, a lot of my friends were like, you need a cell phone, like in high school, but I was like, I only hang out with you like 4 people, and like, you don't call me that often, and like, we hang out, we already have like our regular hangout schedule, like, what do you need to call me for? But I mean, we did have jobs at that point, so like, it kind of made sense, but like, also, I didn't need a cell phone, Justin. And then when I was in college, my parents were like, we're gonna get you a cell phone because you're driving a lot further. I mean, it wasn't driving that much further, it was driving, you know, 20 minutes to school. And my parents were like, if we need to get a hold of you for whatever reason. And also I was driving my brother to school because he didn't drive. So it kind of made sense for, you know, we're on a big campus. It's hard to coordinate. So you just call them when you're done and you're like, okay, meet me here, I'll pick you up. Anyway. But it's like, I so much of my focus is going into the cell phone, and I just don't want that for my life. And I want to be making videos, and I want to be doing stuff in the real world, you know? And so I've been trying to be very cognizant of like, when I'm sitting and scrolling, having interruptions to be like, is what I'm doing like, am I even enjoying this? Am I feeling any relaxation? And I'm noticing that like, I spend a lot of time on Reddit, and so much of the stuff I see there is just stuff I would have been happier not seeing. You know, just stuff about politicians and the awful things they did. And that's kind of a ubiquitous statement. You can argue in the comments who it's about, but like, it doesn't matter really, because a lot of the politicians are terrible. Can we go back to that standpoint and not this sort of team sports with politics? Like, it drives me nuts. We should be holding everybody accountable because they are all failing us, and it doesn't matter where you are on the political quadrant. The politicians are failing us, and then there's no redeeming. You know, you could be like, well, this person did this and this person did that, and you're like, yeah, but they also let XYZ, you know, ABC, all this other crap through. Like, the way politics are going, the only person I would like stand up for and be like, yes, is somebody that went there and was just like, no, we're not doing it. If they just filibustered everything until like there was some sanity to it, and even that, you could be like, well, they're just obstructing everything, so would that even do anything? It's a very nuanced problem, and that's not what today's video is about. Get me started on politics. You had me monologuing there, you sly dog. That's an Incredibles reference if you didn't catch it. Anyway, but I have been getting really into Warhammer 40,000, which, if you don't know, it is it's aggressively nerdy. It's a tabletop war game. You build these little models that are like this big, and then you fight with dice and math. So it's kind of like if you wanted to play Risk, but in order to play Risk, you had to build a model train set first. And so there's so many aspects to the hobby. And what's great is it gets me off of Reddit. Although I am on Reddit a lot to like get information, it gets me off of just mindlessly scrolling through reels and shorts and whatever else, the short form content, and it gets me back into the real world, doing something with my hands. And that, as someone who, like, my job is sitting at a computer, I go out and I shoot a lot, yes. And when I do that, I feel good because I'm using my hands to manipulate a tool. But so much of the work, you know, like the actual shooting is like maybe 10% of it. The rest of it is sitting over there emailing people and editing. Like, that's most of it. And so it's behind screens, and it's like, well, you use the mouse and the keyboard, but it's still, you can't touch it. You can't, you know, you're touching the mouse, and that's something, but like, it's different with the camera because you can twist stuff and you got knobs, and it's different. But like, just working with my hands, that's something I've wanted to do. And last year I wanted to do like a woodworking project thing, and I just don't have space to get the tools and, you know, and put the projects together. And like, I don't know what I would do with the projects, and it just seemed so accessible, but at the same time not at all accessible. So this is very different. This is building little models, and you work with your hands, and you can do like little painting, and it's not super creative, but there is an element of like strategy to it and creativity to it, but in small little chunks. So it's like you have the strategy element of building your army up, you have the collecting element of acquiring limited edition things, you have the model building aspect of it where you build and paint these tiny little models, and then you have like a DIY aspect where you can make little DIY terrain. I made this little like sign thing. It looks terrible, but like, I worked with my hands and I built this thing, and it was fun to do. And like, it doesn't look great. It does not focus in great, you know, but it's not like super terrible. And like, it was fun to just, it's like the woodworking that I wanted to do, but I could do it on my scale in this, you know, in this one small office. You know, this room is, it can't be more than 12 by 12, something like that, you know. It might be like 15 by 15, like at the most. Like, it's not very big. And it's just like, that's something I could do. It's, you know, all this stuff was free. cutting foam that I had, and I just was cutting away with an X-Acto knife. I guess I had to buy an X-Acto knife too. But like, and then I'm watching all these videos on YouTube on like how to build DIY terrain, and I'm just like absorbing it and like going to like, you know, when I see stuff that I'm like, oh, this could be things, and it's could be stuff, and it's like my brain. It's like when I walk into a place now, I'm not immediately on my phone being like, and instead I'm looking around, and I'm like, okay, what can I steal for DIY terrain, and like looking at elements and like elements of buildings that like don't excite me, but like, how can I take some of these design ideas and put them into my little DIY terrain? And it's so good, and I'm present, and so it's just amazing. And I want to manifest more of that in my life this year, as well as still doing the thing that I've wanted to do for a long time, which is trying to do the YouTube thing, trying to make content people want to watch, trying to make content that I want to make that people want to watch. And there's a fine line there of like what I want to make and what is like popular, because a lot of what's popular I think sucks, and I don't want to make that. You know, I don't want to be Logan Paul, and I don't want to be Peter McKinnon, and I don't want to be like a lot of these fake people who like you could tell like when they hit stop on the camera like they're a different person. I don't want that. I just want to be the same manic person, and I want to whisper about it. And then also I started a Warhammer YouTube channel because of course I did. So yeah, it's just like, this is kind of a manic video, but it's where I'm at. It's just there's so much that I want to do, and so much of my time is like stuck on the screen, and I hate it so much, and I want to be doing things and accomplishing stuff. And if I'm giving away hours of my life every single day to watching short form content and just scrolling past 3/4 of it, you know, then I'm never gonna get to that point where I could just make dumb stuff for you people, and then also at the same time shout at you, be like, hey, come make stuff with me. Like, you should make stuff too, because it's fun and it's different, and like this is, yeah, it's behind screens and it's not as tactile as I would like it to be, but like as a first step, a YouTube channel is great, and I think everybody should do it. And if only to sit at a camera and to start spewing your guts, it's because like you learn a lot about yourself doing this kind of bullshit. I'll tell you something. I said a bad word. I'm trying not to say bad words on camera, because I think YouTube is angry at me when I say the bad words. But I only said one bad word so far today, so I think I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, that's what I got. That's where I'm at. So yeah, if you're interested in doing stuff, let's do stuff. Tell me what you're gonna do, you know, or don't tell me what you're gonna do, because I've seen some like studies that are like, oh, when you talk about your goals, then you're less likely to do them. That's not for me. But at the same time, this is like kind of like public accountability, and so like there's a level of shame when I do my like stupid arbitrary goal updates, and I'm not as far along as I want to be. I feel there's like some like public humiliation factor that kind of helps motivate me, especially towards the end of the month. I'm like, okay, how can I get some points so it doesn't sound so shitty I said bad word again, so it doesn't sound so poor when I do my update, you know. And it's like, okay, let's go, let's get some work in. But yeah, so that's what I got. That's all I got today. I hope you're doing well, and if not, I hope it turns around for you. And I think if you want things to turn around for you, and you're noticing that you are on your phone, on Reddit, on the social media apps too much, let's throw our phones in the river. I highly recommend the Stolen Focus book. It's been great so far. I'm only on like chapter 3 or 4, but I've been loving it. And there's like some good actionable takeaways with scientific backing and author anecdotes, which is like the best kind. It's when you get like all 3 sources. You're like, yes, I like, because there's science behind it, but there's also like stories behind it that you're like, okay, other people have been through this too. And you get, and then the author's personal that's really the magic fairy dust, is the author's personal stories, along with the stories of friends and stories of famous people and historical figures, and then actual research. And you're like, yes. And the author is great because he presents kind of both sides of the story when the science is murky, and you're like, oh, this is good. We don't know everything yet, because like I said, I didn't even have a cell phone until I was in college, and like the younger generations are the first generation to grow up where a computer was like yes, the internet was like yes, and like when they were like 12, social media was already just a thing, and that's just the life they've lived. And it's interesting to see how different a lot of Gen Z is compared to like even Gen Xers, of like their opinions on a lot of stuff is so much more, I don't know, it's so much more visceral, and it's just, yeah, I don't know. It's just wild to see how different people are now, and it wasn't always that way. And I'm not saying it's it's like it's bad, but it's like I think there's the bad parts have gotten worse, but the good parts have gotten better. So I don't know where the scales lead us. Like, is it still balanced? Maybe, but the bad parts definitely have gotten worse, and while the good parts have gotten better, it feels like most people experience bad stuff more often, just because the bad stuff is what kind of leads off and what gets the views. So let's stay off the apps. Let's stay off the bad stuff. Let's get that out of our brain. That bad crap is happening out in the world. We don't need to know. You don't need to see that video. There's so many, like, oh my god, on Reddit. They get me fired up again. There's all this like combat footage, and I'm like, we are not meant to see that. We are not meant to see just video after video after video of like someone getting drone struck to death. Like, that can't be good for you. Like, but then also at the same time, the takeaway that I never see happening is the people that are like, come and take it with their guns. It's like, do you not realize, like, do you not see these videos of like a drone strike happening? Like, they don't need to come and take it. They would drone strike you from 2 miles away. You wouldn't even hear the drone. It would just be a missile, and that's it. Your whole house would be gone. Your whole block could be gone. It's like they don't care. Come and take it. Like, what are you gonna do? You're AK-47 and gonna shoot the drone 2 miles away. Good fucking luck. Sorry, that's political again. But we're not supposed to see all that. We're not supposed to see the guy saying, come and take it, and he's got his Punisher t-shirt on. He never read the comics. That's another sore spot for me. The people that use iconography completely wrong. Like, you don't know what that's about. You haven't read the book. We could say that about a lot of things. But that's here nor there. Let's get off the internet. Let's throw our phones in the river, and let's just get back to simpler life. Take our dogs out to the park and play Warhammer and play tabletop games and get back to playing Zelda. We did, me and my girlfriend. I watched my girlfriend play Zelda for like 4 hours today, and it was great. Like, yeah, I get why people watch other people playing games on the internet. Like, it's relaxing because you just sit there and just kind of vibe out, and it reminds me of like when I was a kid, and I'd go over to my friend's house and they would play the video game, and it's like, yes, I would like to play, but sometimes I just want to sit and watch someone else play while I fiddle with my little Warhammer guys. Like, it's just something to it. It's a little magical. It's good. It's good. It's wholesome, and it feels like it's good for the soul, because it's like you're doing a thing with somebody, and it's communal, but it's separate, but I don't know. It's just good, and I want more of that in my life, and I don't fully know how to get it just yet, but I'm experimenting and I'm trying to figure it out. And if I get there and if I figure it out, believe you me, I'm gonna share and I'm gonna talk about it, and you won't get me to shut up about it, because it's something I believe in so strongly. Is like, people need to go out and do things in real life, and it could be as nerdy as playing Warhammer, and it could be as like not nerdy as like I don't. To me, this is nerdy, but like going out to drink different beers is so nerdy to me. Like, and I play Warhammer. I play a game that deals with math and dice and probability. Like, and that's my hobby. Like, I don't know. There's people that are like dorks about IPAs. You can be a dork about anything, but go be a dork about it in the real world. You know, go touch grass, as the kids say these days. And I'll be right there with you, sniffing all the blades, just like my dog does. Except for the ones he poops on, because he poops a lot. That dog is like, I don't know what he is. He's just full of piss and vinegar and poop, because he poops like 4 times a walk. He's crazy. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, and if not, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And guess how old I am in the comments. I think I've probably talked about it before, but guess, and stroke my vanity, stroke my ego, please. Anyway, I hope you're doing well. If not, I hope that turns around for you real soon. And with that said, I'll see you next time. Have a good one.